Someone told you to put 50% toward needs, 30% toward wants, and 20% toward savings. So you sat down. You tried to make it work, and within 5 minutes you realized this math does not add up for my life. Your rent alone is 45% of your take home pay. Your student loan is not optional. Your grocery bill is not coming down. And suddenly, a budgeting rule that was supposed to make you feel in control just made you feel like you were doing everything wrong. You were not doing anything wrong. The rule was written for a world that no longer exists. Let me tell you about Jasmine. Jasmine is 28. She lives in Toronto. She makes $58,000 a year, which after taxes and deductions puts roughly $3,600 a month in her account. She is not reckless. She does not buy things she does not need. She makes her own coffee. She meal preps twice a week. She canceled the streaming service she was not using. And she still cannot hit 20% savings. Not even close. Here is why. Her rent is $1,750 a month. That is 49% of her take-home pay, before she has bought a single piece of food or paid a single bill. Her transit pass, phone plan, and health insurance take another $280. Her student loan minimum is $220 a month. Groceries, not restaurants, just groceries, run about $350. We are already at $2,600. That is 72% of her income on necessities. Before wants, before savings, before anything enjoyable. She has $1,000 left for the rest of the month. Now someone comes along and says, just follow the 50-30-20 rule. Jasmine cannot put 50% toward needs. Needs are already at 72%. She cannot enjoy 30% on wants. She barely has 28% left for everything combined. And 20% savings? That would be $720 a month. She does not have it. Jasmine is not failing at the 50-30-20 rule. The 50-30-20 rule is failing Jasmine. And if you have tried to follow this rule and felt like you could not get it right, there is a very good chance the problem is not you. It is the rule. The 50-30-20 rule was popularized by Elizabeth Warren, yes, the senator, and her daughter in a book called All Your Worth, published in 2005. 2005, when average rent in major U.S. cities was under $900 a month, when housing typically took up 25 to 30% of most people's income, when student debt was a fraction of what it is today. The rule was designed for a world where keeping your fixed costs at 50% was actually achievable for a working adult. Where the math left room for both living and saving, that world is gone. Today, according to Harvard's Joint Center for Housing Studies, rents have outpaced incomes in the majority of U.S. counties. In cities like New York, Toronto, London, and Sydney, rent alone takes 40 to 50% of take-home pay for the average earner. Total student debt in the U.S. alone sits close to $1.8 trillion. Grocery prices continue rising faster than general inflation. Even when inflation rates fall, food does not get cheaper. When needs hit 60 or even 65% of income, which they do for millions of people in 2026, the 50/30/20 rule does not tell you you have a high cost of living problem. It just labels your situation as failure. And failure is not a useful frame when the problem is structural, not personal. Here is the honest thing I want to say about this rule. It is not wrong. It was genuinely helpful when the numbers still worked. The idea behind it, that you should be intentional about where your money goes, that savings should be non-negotiable, that wants and needs should be separated, those principles are still solid. What is outdated is the specific percentages and the assumption that they apply equally to everyone. Someone earning $40,000 in a high-cost city and someone earning $120,000 in a rural area cannot use the same budget ratios. Someone with no debt and someone carrying $60,000 in student loans cannot follow the same formula. The 50-30-20 rule takes the word personal right out of personal finance. And in 2026, that is the most important thing we can put back in. So, if 50/30/20 does not work, what does? Here's the framework I want to give you. I am calling it the priorities first budget. And the core principle is simple. Instead of starting with percentages, you start with priorities. There are three of them. Priority 1. Survive. This is everything you actually cannot live without: rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, real groceries, not dining out, transportation to work, health insurance, minimum debt payments. Do not label this bucket 50%. Just list every single item in it. Add them up. That number is your reality, and it is whatever it is. If your survival costs are 70% of your income, that is your reality. If they are 45%, great. But do not squeeze your grocery budget to hit an arbitrary number. Just know your actual survival cost. Priority 2. Invest before you see it. This is the non-negotiable savings line, and it comes before wants, not after, before. This is the pay yourself first principle. And in 2026, it is more important than ever, because if you wait to see what is left at the end of the month, nothing will be left. Now, here is the key question. What percentage can you actually sustain? If you can do 20%, incredible. Do 20%. If you can only do 5% right now, do 5% consistently, every single month, on the day your paycheck hits. Automatic, non negotiable. Because here is the truth about savings rates that no one talks about. A 5% savings rate that you actually maintain every month for 5 years is worth 10 times more than a 20% savings rate that you start and abandon 3 months later because it felt impossible. Consistency beats percentage every time. Priority 3. Live your life. Everything else, dining out, subscriptions, clothes, entertainment, gifts, travel, goes here. What is left after survival and savings is yours. Spend it without guilt. That is not irresponsibility. That is sustainability. The reason most budgets fail is not lack of discipline. It is that the budget leaves no room for being human. When you genuinely cannot spend money on anything enjoyable without feeling like you are violating a financial rule, you abandon the rule. Every time. The priorities. First budget does not do that. It tells you, handle survival, invest first, then enjoy the rest. No guilt, no arbitrary percentages telling you that you failed. Let me show you what this looks like in real numbers. Back to Jasmine in Toronto. $3,600 take home per month. Under the old 50/30/20 rule, needs $1,800, 50%, but her actual needs are $2,600. She is already over. Wants $1,080, 30%. She does not have this. Savings $720, 20%. Completely impossible. Result: Jasmine feels like she is failing at basic adulting. She is not. The percentages are just wrong for her situation. Now, under the priorities first budget, step 1. List survival costs honestly. Rent, $1,750. Transit plus phone plus insurance, $280. Student loan minimum, $220. Groceries, $350. Survival. Total, $2,600. That is 72%. That is her reality, not failure. Step 2. Invest before she sees it. What can she sustain? She has $1,000 left. She commits to 8%, $290 a month. Set up automatic transfer to her TFSA on payday. She never sees it. It just moves. Step 3. Everything remaining is hers to live on. $1,000 minus $290 equals $710 for the rest of the month. She spends it on what matters to her. No guilt, no spreadsheet policing. Now compare the outcomes over 12 months. Old approach. Trying and failing at 50/30/20. Jasmine saves nothing. She tries, fails, feels bad, gives up. Month after month, year after year. Total invested, $0. Priorities. First approach, 8% that she actually maintains. $290 a month for 12 months at 8% average annual return. After year 1, $3,620. After 5 years, $21,500. After 10 years, $53,000. Not from earning more, not from moving to a cheaper city, from finding the right percentage for her actual life, and sticking to it. Now let us show someone in a better position. Marcus is 31. He lives in a mid-sized city. His take-home is $5,200 a month. His rent is $1,400. Only 27% of take-home. No student loans. For Marcus, the 50/30/20 rule actually works fine. His survival costs are comfortably under 50%. He can genuinely save 20%, $1,040 a month. After 10 years at 8%, approximately $190,000. Same framework, completely different percentages, because Marcus's reality is different from Jasmine's reality. That is the point. The framework should flex to fit the person. The person should not break themselves trying to fit the framework. Here is how you build your priorities. First budget right now. 4 steps. Takes about 30 minutes. Step 1. Calculate your real take-home pay. After taxes. After pension or 401k deductions. After everything. The number that actually lands in your account. That is your starting point. Not gross salary, net income. Step 2. List every survival cost honestly. Go through your last 3 months of bank statements. Write down everything you cannot cut without a major life change: rent, utilities, insurance, loan minimums, transit, groceries. Add them up. That number is your survival cost. Whatever percentage of your income represents, that is your reality, not failure, just data. Step 3. Decide your investment percentage. Look at what is left after survival. Ask yourself honestly, what percentage can I automate and never miss? If you have a lot of breathing room, push for 20%. If you are tight, start with 5 or 8%. If you are in genuine financial crisis, start with $50 a month. Something is always better than nothing. And something that sticks is always better than a perfect percentage that does not. Set it up as an automatic transfer. Day 1, same day as payday, before you see the money, before you decide not to. Step 4. Everything else is your life budget. What is left is yours. Completely. Spend it on what brings you value. Revisit every 6 months. As your income grows, increase the investment percentage before lifestyle inflation absorbs the raise. That one habit, redirecting raises before you get used to them, is worth more than any budgeting rule that has ever been invented. Here is the reframe I want you to walk away with. A budget is not a grade. It is not something you pass or fail. It is not a set of rules someone else designed that you have to squeeze your life into. A budget is a decision about your priorities, and your priorities are yours, not Elizabeth Warren's, not mine. Not a TikTok creator's who filmed a budgeting video in a city with $700 apartments. The right budget is the one that reflects your actual life, your actual rent, your actual debt, your actual income, and still finds a way to build something for your future, even if that something is $50 a month, even if your savings rate is 5%, even if the numbers do not look like the pie chart in a textbook. The goal is not to hit the right percentages. The goal is to keep moving forward every single month without abandoning the plan because it was designed for someone else's life. The 50/30/20 rule was a useful starting point in 2005. In 2026, with the cost of living where it is, with housing taking what it takes, with student debt doing what it does, That starting point needs to be updated. Not abandoned, updated. The principle is right. Be intentional. Save consistently. Live your life. The percentages are wrong because they assume your life fits a template that was written 20 years ago in a different economy. Your budget should fit your life, not the other way around. Drop a comment below and tell me your situation. Just your take-home pay and your biggest fixed cost. Usually rent. I will tell you exactly what savings rate makes sense for your life right now. Not a generic answer. Your actual number, based on your actual situation. Because the point of this channel is not to give you rules that look good on a spreadsheet. The point is to give you a plan that actually works for the life you are living right now, not the life the textbook assumes you have. If this helped you, share it with one person who has been trying to hit 20% savings and feeling like they are failing. Because they are probably not failing. The rule is just not built for their life. Subscribe to Nuella Invests. Every week we cut through the outdated advice and give you what actually works in 2026. Simple, real, no jargon. I will see you in the next video.